Welcome to KMET 1490 AM ABC News Radio and the Southern California Business Report with Yvette Walker, a show dedicated to highlighting successful Southern California businesses and the people behind them.
Welcome and thank you for joining Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV. I'm Yvette Walker, live blasting our signal from the center of Southern California, serving a population of over 25 million. Get us crystal clear and on demand by downloading the free live streaming app on Google Play and the Apple App Store. As always, a huge shout out to the team, Mitch, Bill, and Sean. I love you guys, and I especially love our advisory committee, which can be found at www.scbrtalk.com/advisory committee. Today, I have the distinct honor to introduce Roy Jefferson, Rotary District 5320 Governor. Roy started his State Farm Insurance Agency in 1983 and was looking for ways to expand his referrals and grow sales. In 1993, Roy attended a large business summit at the Anaheim Pond, now known as the Honda Center, with celebrity guest speakers including retired General Norman Schwarzkopf, Olympic gold medalist Rafer Johnson, and motivational speaker Zig Ziggler. It was Zig who said that a good way to expand your referral base and improve your self-image was to join a service club like Lions or Rotary. That is when he went looking for a Rotary club. Roy joined the Anaheim Hills Rotary Club in 1993 and served as club president from 1995 to 1996. He has often said that he joined Rotary for selfish reasons to expand his referral base, and it did that for him. He stayed because he fell in love with the service projects and the friendships that were built over the years. Thank you again for being with us today, Mr. Jefferson.
Thank you, Yvette. And of course, it's Roy, not Mr. Jefferson.
All righty, Roy. Perfect. Thank you so much, Roy.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Beautiful. So as you know, I ask every one of my guests the same question. Please walk us through your journey in becoming a Rotary and ultimately becoming a district governor for District 5320.
So you covered how I came to join Rotary, and it's true. I owe it to motivational speaker Zig Ziggler, and I was a huge fan of Zig's. I read his books. I listened to his cassette tapes, which, some people may have forgotten about those, but those of us who are old enough, we still...
I know what cassette tapes are, yes.
Yes, we remember I had Zig's cassette tapes, and I was in sales, and so salespeople did. We listened to motivational speakers, and he, you know what, he was right. Joining Rotary for networking purposes, it did just that. It helped me expand my referral base. By joining Rotary, I met people from all over the county, not just Orange County, but LA County as well. And I have clients now. I have clients all over Southern California, and some of those are due to my relationships that I built in Rotary. And it wasn't a situation where I needed to push my cards out every day, but as my fellow members got to know me, they knew my business, and if I could help them with their insurance, then they would call on me, or if they had a friend or a family member, they would refer them to me. And often I would go to visit other Rotary clubs around the county. And, when you go into a Rotary club and you're welcomed, one of the first things they ask you after your name is your classification, which is your business. What type of work do you do? And so I was, of course, able to say that I was a State Farm Insurance agent. And several times people would remember that and call on me when their insurance came due. So it did that for me, expanded my referral base. But as I said, I stayed for the service projects that my club and other clubs throughout our communities. And I stayed for all the friendships that I made and that I'm still making, like you.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I've been a proud Rotarian, a new one, since 2015. And, prior to that, I was not very familiar about the inner workings of Rotary, its history, what its mission was. But Roy, please share today, what is Rotary, what's its mission, and what is it most known for?
Well, Rotary originated in 1905, a long time ago. There was a small town attorney, Paul Harris, who moved to big city Chicago, and he wanted to network and interact with other local businessmen. So he invited 3 business associates, although one included a tailor, his tailor. He invited them to his office, and they discussed networking and doing business together. They in turn agreed to move the locations of the meetings to each other's place of business every week. And so they rotated the meetings, thus the name Rotary was developed. So that first Rotary Club was established in Chicago, and soon, later on, other clubs were established around the country as a member moved, and the second Rotary Club was actually started in San Francisco. San Francisco was the second, and I think Oakland was the third, followed by Seattle, and then a Southern California Rotary Club in Los Angeles. It goes by the moniker LA5 because it was the 5th Rotary Club in existence. So, and then Rotary expanded all over the world. I think London or Ireland, actually, I think Ireland was the first Rotary Club established outside the United States. And then London. So London, I think, was established, but hadn't really chartered yet. So Ireland takes claim to being the first Rotary Club chartered outside of the U.S. But now there are over 40,000 clubs worldwide, 1.4 million members across the globe. And our motto is service above self. Service above self. We have several monikers or catchphrases. We like to say that we are people of action. And I totally believe that. Over the years, I found that some people think about getting involved. Some people talk about getting involved. But Rotarians are people of action. We do get involved. We do make a difference in our community and around the world.
Absolutely. And I can find no greater evidence of that in addition to Rotarians and Rotary International and all of the clubs underneath it being lauded as, the organization that basically eradicated polio. Please talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's not completely eradicated yet, but we're so close. We're just this close. So that initiative, that campaign started in 1905, just after the Rotary clubs in the Philippines. They started a campaign to inoculate all the children in the Philippines from that dreaded disease, polio. And in 1985, that was accomplished, but the Rotarians said, well, why stop there? Why stop at the Philippines? So they started an initiative to take on the job of inoculating all the world's children from that dreadful disease. When we started that campaign in 1985, there were over 300,000 cases, new cases of polio every year. 300,000 new cases. And, today, our children, many of them don't even know what polio is, which is wonderful. I remember when I was in school so many years ago, we either rolled up our sleeve and had a shop or a sugar cube or whatever the case may be. But we were vaccinated against polio. And Rotary started the campaign, and over the years, we've raised hundreds of millions of dollars to provide the polio vaccine and other medicines as well to the children all over the world. I personally gone to a polio inoculation day in Mexico and helped give the polio drops to children in villages and remote villages in Mexico. It was so rewarding to be able to say that I did that, to hold those kids and put those 2 little drops in their mouths, knowing that I was hopefully saving them from ever contracting that disease. I had a friend who recently passed away, Nathan. Nathan passed about just a few months ago. He was 72 years old, and he was the oldest of 5 children. And unfortunately, he contracted polio, and he lived with it all of his life. I mean, he had no use of his legs. He was a really strong individual though, but it was tough to see him like that because, and I never knew his parents, but, you can't help but wonder how his parents felt about him, not getting that vaccine and having to live his life like that.
Right. And so my understanding is basically all but 2 countries throughout the world have been vaccinated, correct?
That's correct. So as I was mentioning, when we started the campaign, there were over 300 new cases every year in various countries. Now there's only Afghanistan and Pakistan are the only 2 countries remaining with new cases of wild polio virus. And to date this year, there have only been six cases. Wow. Can you imagine going from 300,000 cases every year down to 6? And we owe that to Rotary, the World Health Organization, who we partner with, UNICEF, who we partner with. And I'm not sure how many years ago, but a few years ago, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation came on board as well because they knew the importance of eradicating this dreadful disease. And so the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation matches the funds that Rotary raises, that Rotarians raise towards polio eradication. They match it 2 to 1. So if we raise $50 million, and that is the goal actually, every year $50 million for Rotarians to raise. And if we get to that, it's kind of a challenge. So if we get to the $50 million mark, then the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation matches that. And I'm pleased to say that we've never missed that $50 million mark since that match has been going on. And the funds are used in so many ways. They're used, of course, to purchase the drops, the equipment, but also to purchase, in some cases, equipment or vehicles to get to very remote areas where the vaccine has to be given out. So it's used in so many ways. And so, again, we're just so close to making that happen.
Right. And so in addition to this massive project that Rotarians have, rolled up their sleeves and realized some substantial gains, taking polio, patients from 300,000 a year to 6, it's astounding. Please talk about some of the additional projects that Rotarians can work on, both locally and internationally.
Yeah. Rotarians have an opportunity. I like to say that Rotary provides me an opportunity for adventure while doing service projects that I never would imagine. I personally have gone to Mexico to do the polio drops. I've gone to Mexico to help build houses for the needy. I've helped participate in educational programs that has brought educational books and tools and programs, clean drinking water to other countries, all because of Rotary. Our Rotary District has 49 clubs, as far south as San Clemente in Orange County. And then our district also includes the lower or the southernmost part of LA County. So Long Beach, Whittier, Lakewood, Signal Hill, and about 10 clubs in LA County. And our clubs do so many projects. So this year, as district governor, I started as district governor in our district on July 1st. The Rotary year runs from July 1st to June 30th. That's our Rotary calendar. And so on July 1st, the officers change around the Rotary world. We get a new Rotary International president, new board for Rotary International, the clubs. Most clubs change presidents and boards, and most districts have a new district governor come July 1st. So my year started July 1st, and one of my tasks is to visit all 49 of the clubs in my district.
Wow.
And there's 49 clubs, and as I said, my year started July 1st, and so I visited 27 of the clubs.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So
wow.
that's great. So, I'm fortunate in that my clubs geographically are very, very close to each other. Some of my governor classmates from across the country, across the world, have a much harder time, visiting their clubs. Some governors have clubs in other states that they have to hop on a plane and fly to, or some governors have clubs in other countries. One of my classmates up in Washington, he has clubs in Canada as well. And some have a lot more clubs than I do. So I'm really fortunate. Most of my clubs are within driving distance of 40 to 45 minutes, except for Catalina Island. We have a club in Avalon, and I'll be visiting them tomorrow. So I will need to take the Catalina Express and go 26 miles across the sea. But during my club visits, one of the things I like for the clubs to do is to tell me about some of the projects that they're doing in their communities. And I tell you that's the best part. I know what my club does, and I'm so proud of what my Anaheim Hills clubs does. So you ask about the type of projects that clubs can do. I can tell you that my Anaheim Hills club, we are known for a couple of things in the community. We have a huge Easter egg hunt every year. We've been doing it for 15 years. That first year when we started it, I think we had 30 kids, and each kid went home with about 40 or 50 eggs. But as the word got around and as it grew, now for the past 3 or 4 years, except for COVID, of course, we get close to 1,000 kids at this Easter egg hunt.
Oh my goodness.
And we stuff some 10,000 eggs with candy and treats. We get some of the senior citizens at the senior apartment complexes here to help us stuff the eggs. We get some scouts to help us stuff the eggs. And then on that particular Sunday that we have our Easter egg hunt, we put 10,000 eggs out at Ronald Reagan Park here. And one of our members dresses up as the Easter Bunny so that parents can take photos with their kids of the Easter Bunny. And then when we blow the horn, 10,000 eggs disappear in 60 seconds. So it's just,
I love that.
It's a fun memory that kids will have, while growing up in this community. So we do that. Our club also does classroom grants. So with some of the funds that we raise, we enable teachers to apply for classroom grants up to $500 if they have a program or educational program or tools that they would like for their classroom. We can't satisfy all the grants, but we satisfy a lot. And I would say over the past 8 years, our club has given out over $100,000 in classroom grants.
Wow.
To the local schools. We serve dinner for the residents at the Ronald McDonald House once a month. So just small things. But in my visit to the other clubs, I was so proud to hear about some of the events. I will share a few of them with you.
Yes, please.
The San Juan Capistrano Club. So they sponsor events at their local Boys and Girls Club, which is always needed. I think it's neat that they purchase and donate clothes for young Marines to wear to the Marine Corps Ball. I mean, this is something as simple as that. But, you know, the young Marines don't make very much. So for them to do that, I think is fantastic. The Yorba Linda Club, the Yorba Linda Sunrise Club, leads a group of Rotarians and volunteers to Mexico every year to build houses for the needy. I've done that. It's such an emotional time when you turn the keys over to a young family who will be staying in that house. The Newport Irvine Club leads medical personnel from UC Irvine and other volunteers to Mexico for a one-day medical clinic. The Irvine Club does an annual dental clinic to Mexico. The Lakewood Club, they went to Costa Rica for a week to do service projects. Yeah, Costa Rica for a week. They had some playground equipment that their city replaced. And so they shipped it to Costa Rica along with some educational supplies for classrooms at a school in Costa Rica. So they went to Costa Rica, helped build the playground, helped refurbish the classrooms, and they were there for a week of service. Now, while they were there, they also went horseback riding, attended a fiesta, went out on a catamaran, but still, they were in Costa Rica performing a week of service, which I think is great. The Long Beach Club, they have a program where they pack bags for the students at Long Beach State who are homeless. You know, at quite a few of our colleges, kids attend, but they're homeless. They sleep in their cars or they sleep wherever they can. So the Long Beach Rotarians have a program where they pack bags with sundry items and toiletries and supplies and goodies, and they give these to the students, the homeless students at Long Beach State. I just so proud of them for that. And so there's just so many other things. The Huntington Beach Club, I was there just a few days ago, and they told me about a hands-on science program that they sponsor for grade school students to go to one evening at Golden West College. The professors and the students there put on this display for the students so that they can hopefully have an interest in studying science. And that was a new one for me. I really liked that one. I hadn't heard of that one. And then the Monarch Beach Rotary Club, they do a picnic, or they call it a beach bash for the local Marine families down at Camp Pendleton. They get some 200 Marine families, and they put on this picnic and beach bash for the Marine families and their kids. The Los Alamitos Seal Beach Club, they do a fishing derby for the kids in their community over at the pier. It's completely free. They provide the bait. If the kids don't have fishing poles, they provide the poles for them for free. So it's projects like these that Rotarians do that just, you know, you're so proud, because it's hard for just one person to do these things by themselves. But when you have a group of like-minded people doing projects like these, that's why you stay in Rotary. That's why.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that insight, Roy. We are hitting a break right now, so everybody stick around. I'm Yvette Walker with ABC News and Talks Southern California Business Report, here today with Roy Jefferson, Rotary District number 5320 Governor, talking about the origins of the oldest and largest service club in the world that originated in Chicago in 1905 and has been lauded as the volunteer organization known for nearly eradicating polio, sharing the purpose and opportunities that exist throughout the globe. When we return.
Hi, Ray Lance from the Diamond Center in the Claremont Village here. One of the coolest parts of a third-generation family business is getting to know the families we serve through generations. Once you experience our friendly service, our fair and transparent pricing, and our beautiful jewelry that we make to last a lifetime, you'll stick with us too. Come visit us in the Claremont Village or at Lantz, L-A-N-T-Z, diamondcenter.com and see what makes us different.
The University of La Verne is rated first in California for alumni satisfaction. Learn more about accelerated programs offered online and on campus in La Verne, Irvine, Ontario, Burbank, or College of the Canyons. Visit go.laverne.edu. The University of La Verne. go.laverne.edu.
Hi, I'm San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes. If you're looking to start an exciting career in law enforcement and make a difference in your community, we are hiring dispatchers, nurses, deputies, laterals, and many more. For a complete list of our jobs and more information, visit sheriffsjobs.com.
Ontario International Airport is onto a better way to fly with over 65 daily non-stop flights to more than 20 major destinations and the easiest airport experience in Southern California. Visit flyonto.com/Ontario to learn more about Ontario International Airport today.
Hi, I'm Dana Rademacher with MGR Property Management.
A lot of people wonder about the value that property management has for their property. Property management can include all property types, including residential, commercial, and HOA. It is valuable because property managers are experienced in what can happen at your property. We're aware of liabilities. We're able to do predictive and preventative maintenance. We know what is coming up with the changes in the weather, the seasons, how old certain aspects or different capital projects at your property are. We're able to best negotiate contract pricing, legalities with your tenants, and anything else that you may need to ensure that you're getting the full value of your property. If you're interested in speaking with the representative at MGR Property Management regarding your property management needs, you can visit our website at mgrrealestate.com, or you can call our number at area code 909-581-6600 to be connected with the representative.
Cal State San Bernardino is home to the only school of entrepreneurship in California. With globally ranked degree programs, you can start your journey today to become a successful entrepreneur. Learn more and connect at entre.csusb.edu.
Welcome back, everybody. Yvette Walker here with ABC News and Talk Southern California Business Report, here today with Roy Jefferson. He is Rotary District 5320's governor, talking about the origins of the oldest and largest service club in the world that originated in Chicago in 1905 and has been lauded as the volunteer organization known for nearly eradicating polio, sharing the purpose and opportunities that exist throughout the globe. Thank you again for being with us here today, Roy.
Thank you, Yvette. It's my pleasure.
Perfect. So prior to the break, you were giving us an overview of what Rotary projects can look like on a global scale and on a local scale. And I also want to bring to light, two really impressive Rotary clubs that stepped up following the pandemic and then during the pandemic. Please tell us about the Fullerton Rotary Club, Roy.
So the Fullerton Rotary Club is one of our oldest in terms of years of existence. So they're over 100 years old. and they have over 100 members. But our past district governor, Dan Allowine, is a longtime member of the Fullerton Rotary Club. And of course, we all know that during the pandemic, supplies of various things were limited, including face shields. And so I'm not sure if Dan came up with the idea, but Rotarian came up with the idea of combining our forces, combining our resources to purchase the materials necessary to make thousands of face shields. So Dan Allowine, he spearheaded that at his place of business, and then we got other locations, including hotels or community centers around the district, and Rotarians and other volunteers came together, and yes, we made over 90,000 face shields, and those face shields were initially donated to our first responders, our frontline people, the medical professionals at hospitals, police and fire personnel. So it was a huge task, but it was just one example of how Rotarians come together in a crisis situation. So very proud of Dan and all the Rotarians who made that happen. We came together to try to do what we could to provide some aid for our brothers and sisters in the Ukraine. There were Rotary clubs in the Ukraine as well before the war happened, and Rotarians are still there. And Rotary International made it possible for Rotary clubs to perform disaster grants. So our districts could spend $25,000 on supplies or equipment for the people of Ukraine in conjunction or in partnership with a Rotary club in Ukraine who could take the funds on or the supplies that we were purchasing, and then Rotary International matched that $25,000. So those disaster grants happened for the Ukraine. We're waiting to see if disaster grants will be created for our friends and Rotarians in Maui after those tragic fires. I can tell you that the Rotarians in my district came together and donated funds to help the people in Maui. We reached out to our Rotary, my Rotary governor classmate in that district to ask what they needed. And he said that at the moment it was finances. There's a lot of supplies coming in as far as water and food items, but they needed finances to be able to help people. He mentioned to me the other day that they gave out several hundred gas cards to people who had been affected. He gave an example of, sometimes people try to do good, and sometimes it can go a little awry. He mentioned how there was a huge container of canned goods that were shipped to Maui to help the people, but there were no can openers. So they had to scramble to find can openers. But those are things that you don't think about. And that's why in a lot of cases, finances, funding can really help. That's the first thing we can do.
Right. And so I love how you gave us the example of a Rotarian that owns a business. In this case, it's Pac-Man, which is known for manufacturing aerospace components, aviation components, and pivoted completely from manufacturing those high-tech items to manufacturing face masks and inviting other Rotarians to join to assemble and to use the manufacturing facility as a channel to serve and step up during the pandemic, which is phenomenal. I absolutely love that story and how Rotarians were able to pull their resources together and respond, which is what Rotarians are known for, right? They're people of action. Roy, please talk to us about a new club that has come online that is very inspiring. This young woman, Stephanie Hoyne, please talk about her and her club and what she has gone through in order to create a new charter club in District 5320.
It's true. Yes. Stephanie Wynn is her name. And she is the charter president of the new Northeast Orange County Leadership Rotary Club. And that club was chartered on, I think, June 28th. So just during those last couple of days of this past Rotary calendar year. The club is made of mostly young professionals, and they have been really active in just a short term time that they've been a club. They've had a huge science fair down, I think it was in Dana Point, where they I think it was at the Ocean Institute, I think, down there. So they did a huge project there. They have a really wonderful project coming up on September 10th. So it's called the Skate for Hope. So one of their members, his company makes skate products. So he's a skateboarder himself. And so he works with Etnies, is one of his sponsors. And so they are trying to raise funds for an organization that concentrates on helping prevent teen suicide. Mm-hmm. And so this event that they're having on September 10th is at Etnies Skate Park down in Lake Forest. They'll have professional skateboarders. They will have, they'll allow kids to just skate competition on their own. There'll be prizes and raffles, and it's just going to be a huge event. Their goal is to raise thousands of dollars for this organization, as I said, that tries to help prevent teen suicide. So Stephanie got the club started, and like I said, they're already off and running, making a huge difference in the community.
I love it. And please talk a little bit about RILA. That is such a great program. And I see the North East Orange County group kind of being the pipeline, the segue of RILA students into Rotary. Please talk about RILA.
So there is a program that we've been doing for high school, mostly high school juniors. We did make it possible now for sophomores to be able to attend as well. But it's the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, and it's a leadership camp held up in the Anaheim Pines. We've been doing that camp for 31 years, and Rotarians and other volunteers come together with close to 200 high school students over the weekend. And during that weekend, they are taught leadership skills. There's activities, there's speakers. There's also a high ropes course on Saturday afternoon. So the kids get to face their fears up on the high ropes, or maybe, what do you call that? A zip line is one of the things that they have up there, and a trapeze bar, and you climb up about 30 feet up into the tree, and you dive out for this trapeze bar. I did it when I was there some years ago, and to have the kids, they assembled them in families, and to have the kids, rooting you on and supporting you is such great team building that they get to participate in. The kids come away from that weekend really feeling like it was a life-changing event for them, and Rotarians as well. So it's a great leadership camp. We do that in April each year in our district. As I said, we've done it for 31 years. I have a young lady in my club who joined about 8 or 9 years ago, and it was about 8 or 9 months ago. And I'm sure she won't mind. Oh, I won't say her name. She's only 28 years old, but she joined because she was she attended Ryla when she was at Catella High School, and she was in Interact, which is the Rotary sponsored club on high school campuses. So we have Interact clubs in about 50 high schools all over our district. And again, the kids are taught our motto of service above self, and they are usually aligned with a Rotary club, and the clubs help each other out. But the kids learn about service as well.
I love it. Okay, Roy, you are the district governor for 5320, and I had the pleasure and privilege of hearing what it is you have in store for the district. Please share with our audience today your agenda, what you've gotten completed to date, which is extremely impressive, and what we have to look forward to.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in our district. On October 14th, we have a chili cook-off coming up at the Santa Ana Zoo that the clubs compete in for the best chili in the district. So that's October 14th. We call it the End Polio Now Chili Cook-Off. The funds raised from that will go and be donated to our End Polio Now Fund. One of the things that I'm really, really pleased about is my initiative to have September proclaimed as Service Club Month. And this all stems from me watching the morning news, I think it was a couple of Novembers ago, and there was a lady on talking about all the wonderful things you could do with a pomegranate. And I'm thinking, wow, I wish a service club like Rotary could be getting this free publicity. Well, it just so happens that November was National Pomegranate Month. I couldn't believe it, but I Googled, and sure enough, it said November is National Pomegranate Month, but there was nowhere could I find a service club month. And so I found a public relations article, and the lady said, if you've ever wondered how an organization gets a national day, week, or month, she said they just declare it and then they promote the heck out of it. And I was thinking, well, we can do that. So I've been talking about it, and it got back to Orange County Supervisor Don Wagner. He loved the idea. And the other 4 Orange County supervisors, apparently they loved it as well, because on September 12th, the Orange County Board of Supervisors will sign a proclamation proclaiming September to be Service Club Month in Orange County going forward. And now other cities are hopping on board. On September 6th, the Lake Forest City Council will proclaim September to be Service Club Month. On September 19th, the Anaheim City Council will do the same. I'm now hearing that Lakewood, San Juan Capistrano, Long Beach are all hopping on, and hopefully at some point this will grow and September will be known as National Service Club Month. And hopefully then the TV media will reach out to our clubs, and instead of talking about pomegranates, I mean, they can continue to talk about pomegranates, but hopefully they can talk to our service clubs about all the great things that service clubs do in the communities. I mean, not just Rotary. There's Lions, there's Kiwanis, there's Ebell. There's so many service clubs donating, with their members donating tens of thousands of hours every year, preventing disease, saving lives. And frankly, I think we deserve our own special month. So during the month of September, the doors of all service clubs will be open. The community can Google their local service club, again, whether it's Rotary, Lions, or Kiwanis. Reach out and arrange to visit and see what the clubs are doing, and hopefully participate or become a member. And that's the whole idea behind September being recognized as Service Club Month every year. The other thing is that our Rotary International president, Gordon McAnally, is from Scotland. And earlier in the year, he shared with us an unfortunate story about how his brother died from suicide.
Mm.
And he asked that Rotarians give some focus to mental health awareness this year. And I thought the best way that our district could do that is to hold a walk for mental health awareness. And I've shared that with the Rotarians across my district. They love it. Even our interactors and high school campuses, they love the idea. They did ask me to change it to a march. So on April 27th in Anaheim, we will have a Rotary March for mental health awareness. We know it's a really important topic, and we will raise funds. And with the funds we raise, we will make a donation to organizations that try to help prevent or try to help those who suffer from depression and mental health needs. And we'll make a donation to an organization that tries to help prevent teen suicide. And we'll even make a donation to End Polio Now, as Rotary tries to help people suffering from post-polio syndrome. Mm. So that's one of my initiatives. The governor who follows me, he likes that idea, and he pledges to keep it going next year. And hopefully, like every other walk, it will grow, and the funds that we raise, we will use to help those in need.
Oh my goodness, that is absolutely phenomenal. So inspiring, so exciting. So how do you get this all done? You have your team of people that are surrounding you, assisting you, kind of your eyes and hands on the ground.
You have to have help. Can't do it all alone. Can't do it all alone. And so the Rotarians in my district do step up. I have a really good team of executive assistants and assistant governors, and then just various members who volunteer. They're people of action. And so I'm so pleased to have the assistance that I get from my Rotary Club members and my district members.
I love it. So Roy, tell us how people can learn more about Rotary. What is the protocol? How do you reach out and say, hey, this is the city that I live in. I'm really interested in joining a service club. What do I need to know? How do I join? Please talk about what that looks like.
Thank you so much. So in most cases, you really can Google a service club in your community. Hopefully it's Rotary that you Google. But you can also go to our district website, rotarydistrict5320.org. And there you can go on and see all the clubs in our district. And you can click on a link that will take you to that club's website, and you can contact them to arrange for a visit. And Rotary clubs, we love to have visitors. We love to share what we do with the public. We would love for more people to get involved. My dad was in a service club, and he didn't really talk about what his organization did. And for years, our forefathers, in Rotary and other service clubs, they didn't pat themselves on the back, and they didn't talk about what they did. But now, in this busy day and age, a couple of generations have forgotten or don't know about service clubs and just aren't aware of all the great things that service clubs do. Plus the networking that you can do in Rotary. I mean, some people try to build a network on social media, but I think for me, in person is the best way to build a network, and you can always do that. Rotary was founded with networking. We still believe in networking. We also believe in doing good in our community on top of that.
I love it. I love it. And so please, before we go, tell us, what is the four-way test? And, because I love that part of being able to network with people that have been basically properly vetted, have the same heart of service that you do, and abide by this four-way test. Please tell us what that is, Roy.
Yes, the four-way test is kind of like the preamble of Rotary International. And when I'm visiting clubs across our district or even around the world, because you can, if you become a Rotarian, you're welcome to stop in and visit any Rotary Club locally, or as you're traveling around the world, you will be welcomed in. And there's from Rotary International, just rotary.org, you can see and find out where the clubs meet. But one thing that we mostly all do is recite the four-way test of the things that we think, say, and do. First, is it the truth? Followed by, is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? That's
beautiful. I love it, Roy. Thank you so much. And thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you so much, Yvette. Thank you for having me. We really do appreciate you having me, and we appreciate you being a Rotarian. Thank you for all you do.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. All right, everybody listening, don't forget to find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Check us out on sbrtalk.com. And as Roy just mentioned, our hearts are with Maui families, businesses, all of the critical infrastructure. A majority of it has been devastated. District Governor Mark Merriam of Rotary District 5000 is appealing and coordinating efforts to help those in need. Please visit https://www.facebook.com/Rotary Clubs of Maui for more information and ways you can help. Also, are you a soccer player that is 18 and over? Mark your calendar. Now's your chance to make your dream of becoming an Empire Striker come true with 2 rounds of tryouts. Weekend 1 happens on Saturday, August 26th from 2 to 5 p.m. and Sunday, August 27th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. One lucky player will be selected to play in the USA versus Mexico indoor soccer game on September 10th at the Toyota Arena in Ontario, California. Weekend 2 is Saturday, October 7th from 2 to 5 p.m. and Sunday, October 8th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The tryout venue is the Shui Family YMCA located at 1150 East Foothill Boulevard in Upland, California. Tryout registration cost is $100. Visit theempirestrikers.com for more information. Don't miss my interview with Wes Fifield, founder and president of Panorama Development, who has worked on the development of over $200 million in commercial property projects in his nearly 35 years working with tenants such as Target, In-N-Out Burger, Burlington, Starbucks, Chipotle, Carl's Jr., and many more. He's an active member of the community, serving on boards to support the West End Family YMCA, the Shui Family YMCA, San Antonio Regional Hospital Foundation and Board of Trustees, the Highlander Educational Foundation, and serves as board member for the Upland Unified School District. Next week, we will have Josh Friday, who serves as California's Chief Service Officer within the Office of Governor Gavin Newsom to lead service, volunteer, and civic engagement efforts throughout California. As a member of the governor's cabinet, Friday leads California Volunteers Office of the Governor. He led the COVID-19 task force to support food insecure communities and food banks across the state. Since appointed, California Volunteers has launched the nation's first statewide Climate Action Corps, Californians for All Volunteer Initiative, a statewide neighbor-to-neighbor campaign, the Californians for All College Corps, to help thousands of Californians who commit to serving for a year pay for college, and Californians for All Youth Jobs Corps, a program to employ underserved youth across the state in critical issue areas. Friday is also the former mayor of Novato, his hometown. He also served as president of Golden State Opportunity, leading the expansion and implementation of the California Earned Income Tax Credit. Prior to GSO, he served as chief operating officer for Next Gen Climate, a leading national organization focused on climate change. Friday served in military as an officer in the United States Navy, and we cannot miss it, everybody. We will see you next week.